What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and get into this. You guys know that I'm not really a big fan of talking about Pokemon investing, not the way I used to be. It just seems way too redundant these days, but occasionally I will give you guys updates on what I'm thinking about what's going on right now in the hobby. For my thumbnail, I may or may not use an Astral Radiance box. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Everyone is talking about these sets recently. Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, and Silver Tempest are all starting to move a good bit. Silver Tempest might be the cheapest of those three right now. And I was saying last week that I thought, or 2 weeks ago, that I thought the Brilliant Stars and Silver Tempest were kind of no-brainer buys. Unfortunately, I am working on my own personal Grail collection goals. And honestly, I think it's more likely that if I bought those boxes or cases of those boxes and then sold them for profit and then moved that over to Grail cards, I think by the time I would have done that, these cards would have probably already been slightly more expensive, or I would have lost my opportunity to get some of the cards that I've been going after. So for me, it's really vital that I go after stuff that I really want for my collection. And honestly, that's not a knock on investing in modern sealed product, but it really takes a certain type of investor collector to only buy that kind of product. Guys, there are plays to be made everywhere in the hobby. You don't need to buy booster boxes to make plays. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this. Astral Radiance just sold out on Pokemon Center. I think this happened 2 days ago. And again, 2-3 weeks ago, I also in the lives talked about Astral Radiance also being a really nice set with a lot of good alt arts. Most notably for me, a lot of people like the Machamp. For me, it's actually the Beedrill. Shout out to Alexandria for pointing that out in our last stream. The Beedrill is just, it's a super iconic Pokemon to me. I love Beedrill. I think it's a fierce Pokemon. He just looks badass. The fact that alt art is like not even like a $20 alt art is mind-blowing for me because I think that that's an amazing alt art. But anyways, that and many other cards, Palkia, Dialga, and of course the Machamp, and a few others that I'm just not remembering off the top of my head. Astral has a lot of good stuff going for it. Of course, based on the fact alone that it's sold out on Pokemon Center, this is about to be pretty much our new barometer for letting us know when it's time to move on stuff. Basically, it's on Pokemon Center. Once it's not on Pokemon Center, prices are going to move up. Same thing you want to keep in mind for Scarlet and Violet, which I can almost guarantee is going to be on Pokemon Center way longer than Sword and Shield. Scarlet Violet just does not have the juice the way that Sword and Shield does. So that stuff's going to sit longer. If you think you can replicate this again with Scarlet and Violet, I would ask you to think again, because there are going to be sets in Scarlet and Violet that just take forever to appreciate, in my opinion. Sword and Shield was an amazing era. People are very connected to that era, and it was an amazing time to be a collector and to come into the hobby or to have been a part of that era when it started. And I just think we don't have a lot to compare against it other than Sun and Moon, which again, baller era in the hobby. Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, really, that's like a peak time in this hobby. But do I think that's going to happen again with Scarlet and Violet? I don't know. I love 151. I think there's potential for these other sets. But for the most part, we're seeing a lot of manipulation, a lot of artificial inflation happening, and I think that this is only going to get worse. I think as we move forward with the next sets and the next generation, we're going to get more and more people coming to the hobby for money, coming to the hobby to invest, coming to the hobby for a lot of the wrong reasons, but I'm not going to knock anybody trying to make money in the hobby. A lot of us collectors know that you have to make money in this hobby to make it sustainable as a collector. It's very hard to collect full time. It gets very expensive. So selling things on the side or investing in sealed booster boxes is a great way to offset your costs. But let's stop talking about Astral Radiance or Silver Tempest or Brilliant Stars, the sets that everyone is harping on. Let's talk about a set that no one is really talking about. And honestly, it blows my mind because it is a great set and it does have a lot going for it. And honestly, the price point is the most important thing here. If you guys are looking to invest in a sealed booster box, Battle Styles, I think, and this is a long shot, right? But I think that Battle Styles is the best value in Sword and Shield right now. I don't think there's any main sets in Sword and Shield that are at the price point that Battle Styles is at right now with the cards that Battle Styles has, okay? you've got the Tyranitar, which honestly, I don't think is a peak illustration or artwork. Tyranitar, the Alt-Art Tyranitar, I could just get out my Battle Styles binder, but I'm not going to do that. The Tyranitar is laying in a field, gorging itself on plates of food stacked high. It's definitely, it's a cool artwork. Is it one that I find to be really, really cool and something that I have to have? Not really. I bought one just to have it for my Battle Styles binder. But the other artworks, the several Urshifu artworks, and like I think there's 3 alt arts of Urshifu in that set, and there's an Empoleon V in that set that looks pretty outstanding. There's some really good stuff. I might even be forgetting 1 or 2 other alt arts in that set, but Battle Styles, just for having those couple of alt arts and Tyranitar basically being in $100, maybe even $115 at this point card. The fact that the box is basically $100 right now, you can literally see a buy now listing for like $115 or something on eBay right now, which means the sold listings, which I should have checked, but I'm guessing since that's sitting, the sold listings are going even lower than that, maybe even in the $90-something range. But I would go out and just say right now, off of an assumption that you can get a Battle Styles booster box for $100 even, or $105, $110 even, pretty easily. You might even be able to get that more easily than you could get a case of boxes. Usually there's a weird difference in case prices. Case prices are usually more because it's untampered, unweighed, and sealed up. It's all in the box together. It's like a package deal. But anyways, I think Battle Styles is a better value than anything else going on right now in Sword and Shield. Everything else has moved. Guys, the train has moved. Do I think you should be stocking up on your Brilliant Stars Silver Tempest now? No. Did I miss the boat too? In a way, yeah. I have a case of Silver Tempest. I've got a few Brilliant Stars boxes. I've got a case. I think I have a case of Astral, as well as some extra boxes of Astral. But I might not. Either way, I've missed a boat on a lot of this stuff too. I wish I would have timed it a little bit better, but it's not the end of the world. There are plays to be made in every aspect of Pokemon, and I urge you, if you're not all that interested in modern product, or if you're not really liking the idea of sitting on modern booster boxes or storage of it all, or you don't care about having it displayed and it's just going to sit in a closet, this is the stuff that is just not fun to do in the hobby. Find something, find a niche, find a part of the hobby that you love, and run it up, right? Learn the pricing, learn how to sell that stuff, and enjoy it. For me, it's theme decks. I'm like probably one of the only people in this hobby that actively talk about theme decks and how much I love theme decks. As I'm making this video, I have one uploading from yesterday about my a mail day video with my theme decks. So you guys know that I love theme decks, and already today, one day later, I already have offers and a profit margin on that deck that I literally just bought and listed, and I'm holding off hoping for a slightly better offer, but I might just go ahead and take it because I don't want to point my nose up at just making money out of thin air, you know, with basically zero effort at all, other than going to the post office and shipping it out. But that being said, like, to get a box for $140 or $150 and then it goes up to $180, you can get a deck for $100, $90, and sell it for $140, $130, still kind of hook someone up below market, make someone's day, and make money very easily. And you can do that over and over again. Now again, not everybody is going to do the same stuff that others are doing, but it seems like everyone is jumping on the sealed investing bandwagon, and I totally get it. It is just you just set it and forget it. People really like that. But I think that there's ways of definitely bringing in more income, and a lot of the vendors and single card sellers will tell you this, that there are tons of opportunities out there, tons of good deals out there. And at the end of the day, those same sellers and vendors are not interested in buying your sealed modern booster boxes. They just aren't. That stuff is hard to get off at conventions unless you're taking an L on it, or taking you're getting 70 or 80% of the market value. Because in that case, of course they're going to buy it because there's already a margin on it. But trying to get these new higher prices for your booster boxes, I do think that it's going to be difficult, and I think that a lot of people are right now misunderstanding what's going on and just FOMO buying all of this stuff up, not knowing, because they haven't opened it potentially that the pull rates are horrendous for a lot of these Sword and Shield sets. You are not going to get the alt arts that you're going after. You're most likely going to end up buying the singles and opening, just having a loss if you open the boxes. And if you do want to buy and sell these, you better get used to selling. There's a lot of variables that go into here. The shipping cost. I've talked about this over and over again, but overall, I just wanted to say that, like, congratulations, everybody that has made money, that has done well buying sealed booster boxes. It's easier said than done. There are people that have been preaching it from the beginning, that people have been like, no, this is stupid, don't do this. And you have to give credit where it's due, because a lot of the sealed investor bros, they're right in a lot of ways. Like, it worked out really well for a lot of people, and you got to practice what you preach, right? So those guys are kind of, they're in that niche of, I've got to buy more sealed product. Otherwise, people are going to realize that I'm not practicing what I'm preaching. For me, I need to fall back on talking about that type of content because it's not practicing what I preach. I personally don't want to keep buying sealed booster boxes. I like the idea of it, but when I could see what that money could do and getting me a card that I'm really going to appreciate, I appreciate that a lot more. Not to mention that you can buy single cards for the same price of a case of booster boxes and pretty much make the same amount of money selling one single card than a whole case of booster boxes. It's just way easier. And you don't have to deal with storage or shipping stuff out. All this stuff is really important to take into account, guys. So anyways, but we are talking, again, back to Battle Styles. At that price point, it's the cheapest price point you're going to get in Sword and Shield. Still dope alt arts. We also have to look at the timeline of these releases, right? Sword and Shield base is a $200 plus box. It might even be like $220, $240, $250 at this point. Sword and Shield base doesn't have a lot going for it, okay? Sword and Shield base kind of sucks. Really sucks. You can, please, feel free to correct me on that or add why you think Sword and Shield base would be great. But then you have Rebel Clash, which also kind of sucks. They both kind of suck, but they're both pretty much at that $200 price point because of the time frame of this stuff selling and unloading. But then you have Battle Styles right after that. Very early on box, very early on set. It really should have already moved past that $200 price point. I'm guessing that people were really hype about Battle Styles. I don't know all the specifics. I don't claim to be an expert, although I do think I'm becoming more of an expert on stuff. But I am always relying on the community and asking you guys, if I miss something or there's something interesting or a point that you think should be made, drop it in the comments so other people can learn from it, and contribute, contribute to the community so that other people aren't making the same mistakes, because I'm trying to genuinely help the community by saying things like, you probably shouldn't be buying in on this stuff at this price unless you, 1, really want it for a display, 2, really just want it in your personal collection, or 3, you're going to buy one and maybe buy another to offset that cost in the future. But I don't think going all in sealed product is the best thing to do, and I want to give the best advice I can give. And sometimes it's great when people can just add to the information I'm putting out there, and either supplement what I'm saying or give an opinion that goes against what I'm saying and maybe teach me a thing or two. Anyways, yeah, it just doesn't, I don't know if Battle Styles, like, I'm not an expert on that set or the print run on that set, but the only thing I can think of why Battle Styles hasn't started moving yet, and I only own 1 box of Battle Styles, maybe 2 boxes, but I'm pretty sure I only own 1 box of it. So Battle Styles I'm actually considering pulling the trigger on, because value-wise, as a contrarian investment, to see value in something that is undervalued currently, that's how you make a really, really smart play. And right, people might be unloading their collections. I know Nostalgianomics just bought someone's sealed booster box collection. That could be a really, really great way to buy into that stuff and get a slightly better deal than market, and the community can work together and maybe hook the guys up who really, really want that stuff. But for the most part, buying online in the secondary market, prices are way too high right now. And so Battle Styles is probably my #1 recommendation for stuff that people should maybe consider buying. Just also because I'm not crazy about Battle Styles personally, and I think that makes it even more of a good thing to buy into to sell down the road, right? it is easy to sell stuff that you're not attached to, sentimental about, or really appreciate, right? I don't really appreciate battle styles, but I see the value in it. I see the fact that other people like me might want one of every Sword and Shield box at least, and so they're going to buy battle styles just for the heck of having that one box as a part of their Sword and Shield booster box collection. So I think that it makes perfect sense to buy that box, and the only thing I can rationally think of why it's still as cheap as it is because it was just printed to oblivion, maybe. And maybe it wasn't even printed to oblivion, it's just not that popular. Another I would probably take a look at is maybe Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage, but I think those have already definitely moved past those price points, although I think you could probably still find them around that just over 110, maybe 120 price point, and those could still be worth it just for the sole fact that they are some of the last good deals that you can find. And on top of that, it's just people are gonna want one of every booster box, right? It's infectious. You get one box, and then you look at the other boxes, and you're like, oh, okay, if I bought these other 6-7 boxes, I'm not even sure how many sets are in Sword and Shield. There's a lot. But okay, if I buy the other boxes, I'll have a complete set of Sword and Shield booster boxes, and that's really cool. I still don't have a complete set. I'm missing Rebel Clash still. So it just goes to show that, like, I'll probably buy a Rebel Clash box, whatever price I have to buy it at, just because I need that box. The same can be applied to sets that aren't as hot, like Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze. And I think Vivid Voltage is probably a little better than Darkness Ablaze and Battle Styles, just because I'm a huge Pikachu fan, so the fat Pikachu is just super dope to me. But Battle Styles, given the time frame of these sets coming out, it's very early on in Sword and Shield. It doesn't make sense for it to sit at that $100, $110, $115 price point for very long. So if you're really into that stuff, that's something I would recommend. It's something that I'm actually considering, but I'm just really torn on trying to complete my collection goals. And like, just modern sealed collecting is just like, it's an afterthought for me at this point. Like, it's a topic I'm tired of seeing on YouTube, and it's a topic that I don't feel like pumping up very much. But it's very evident that modern sealed investing works, and that literally anybody and their mother can do it. And that doesn't mean everybody's doing it. Everyone is starting to do it because they're seeing the numbers. They're seeing things pan out for people that are buying a lot of products like that. They're seeing people that are buying cases of product do really well. And honestly, in the long run, like, if you're not trying to flip stuff constantly, in the long run, it is great for people that just want to set it and forget it and be done with it. You buy those boxes, you have to have a long-term mentality. In 10 years, you can make an absolute killing off all that stuff. On the flip side, in 10 years, with your money invested in a lot of other things, with your money going into day-to-day flipping stuff or weekly flipping stuff, you might be able to make more money in the long run flipping stuff actively and sharpening your seller and trader skills than waiting for this stuff to pan out and then just putting it on the market. Again, the waiting game and being patient and looking at the long term with all this stuff, it's a zero stress game, honestly. I think anybody can do it, and I would urge you, if you don't feel like putting in any effort as a seller, as a collector, and you know, learning how to work with people, just buy this stuff and sit on it, because eventually it will go up in value. It will probably go up astronomically in value over the years, just because there's going to be a continuation of people pumping this stuff and artificially inflating it and manipulating it. This is just, it's going to continue, and it's going to get worse from here. It's going to get worse and better, right? Better in the sense that your sealed collecting is going to go up in value. You're going to feel better about it as the years go by. One of my best plays was I bought 11 boxes or 12 boxes of Evolving Skies, not even thinking about future value. I just liked the box. I liked that it had Umbreon or Rayquaza, and it seemed like just a no-brainer for me. And so that's like one of my favorite things to point back to, because I'm very happy about that investment. But I also don't fully understand it, and it is kind of crazy. But I'm willing to admit that I feel like I just got lucky with that stuff, and I'm definitely looking at modern sealed investments more seriously now, but it has to be contrarian. It has to make sense, and right now, almost nothing makes sense other than these last sets that are kind of just teetering right now. They're just kind of simmering right now. But Battle Styles seems like a play to me. Anyways, Let me know what you guys think. I'm really excited. I wanted to knock this video out so we can talk about a vintage miniature set that I think is just phenomenal. I love this set. I'm obsessed with it. I got a really, really good deal on it buying someone's collection about a year or two ago. I just love this set. I can't wait to do a whole video just talking about this set and showing you guys all the cards in this set, what makes it special, and the value of this set as a complete sealed set, and the fact that you can buy a lot of the cards that make up the set. Like, I can't wait to do the video tomorrow if something else doesn't come up. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. It is awesome to see this channel grow. It is awesome reading all y'all's comments. Just know if you ever leave a comment, I respond to all the comments. I love reading them. Anyways, you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Oh, one last thing. If anybody's still watching, I have discontinued my P.O. box. That's not to say that I don't appreciate fan mail or gifts. I've discontinued it because it's just really expensive, and honestly, I'm confident that everything can be shipped to my business address, Starlight on 22nd, 422 East 22nd Street, Charlotte, North Carolina. If any of you guys ever want to send anything, we've got somebody that runs a day business in our bar during the day who can take deliveries and take stuff in and basically make sure that nothing gets left out. If you ever want to send anything, just send it to Starlight on 22nd, and I'll get whatever you guys send to me there. Anyways, peace out, guys. Have a great day.